You know those times when you just feel completely swamped, like the deadlines are piling up, maybe unexpected problems hit you, and you just get that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Now that pressure.
Yeah, it just builds and builds, doesn't it? But what if you had like an inner toolkit, something to not just get through those moments, but actually maybe even thrive because of them?
Right?
What if you could build this kind of inner strength?
Yeah.
Something that helps you bounce back, whatever life throws your way.
That feeling you're talking about, that ability to handle things, not just cope, but really regain your balance and keep moving forward, that's pretty much the core of resilience.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Yep.
Welcome to our deep dive on building resilience against stress. We've sifted through quite a bit, psychological studies, personal development stuff, expert insights, trying to find the most practical steps.
And maybe some surprising things too.
Yeah, exactly. Our mission really is to pull out the best bits, to help you cultivate that inner strength, navigate life's bumps with maybe a bit more confidence, a bit more ease. So let's unpack this.
Okay, so maybe first, let's get clear on what resilience actually is. Because it's really important to get that it's not about never feeling stress or avoiding hardship.
Right. Life happens.
Life definitely happens. Resilience is really your ability to adapt and adapt successfully when you are facing tough stuff, adverse circumstances.
It could be big things, right, like trauma or losing a job.
Definitely. Or even just the daily grind, prolonged stress. It's that ability to bounce back when you hit a setback.
And this is the part I find really encouraging and important for a deep dive. It's not some fixed thing you're just born with.
No, absolutely not.
It's not like you get a certain amount and that's your lot. The sources really emphasize it's dynamic. It's a process. It's a skill you can actually learn.
Totally. You can develop it over time with practice, with intention.
And the payoff for doing that work seems pretty significant based on the research.
Oh, yeah. High resilience is strongly linked with, higher happiness, better self-esteem, more energy, optimism, even better self-reported physical health.
Wow.
Yeah, and people who score higher tend to feel a stronger sense of meaning, direction in their lives, and they generally report lower levels of depression. It's like a protective shield, really, for your overall well-being.
Speaking of protection, we looked at this one study on mental health workers.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you can imagine that's a group facing a lot of stress, right? Constantly dealing with tough situations, other people's difficulty.
Right, a high-risk group, for sure. And that study looks specifically at mental toughness in those workers, and the finding was pretty clear.
What did they find?
Lower levels of mental toughness were directly related to higher perceived stress and also a lower quality of life for them.
That just makes intuitive sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you feel less equipped up here, points to head, then the stress just feels heavier.
Exactly. And they even pinpointed which parts of mental toughness seemed most important. Two things really stood out.
Okay.
One was interpersonal confidence. So basically, believing you can handle interactions with other people effectively.
Right.
And the other was control of life. That feeling that you have some agency, some influence over what happens to you.
Huh. So feeling capable with people and feeling like you're kind of steering the ship.
Yeah, it suggests those two feelings really impact how you handle stress when it hits.
Okay, so if resilience and this mental toughness are skills we can build, where do we even start? A lot of it seems to be internal, doesn't it? Like mindset stuff.
Oh, absolutely. A huge piece of the puzzle is cultivating what they call a growth mindset.
Heard that term a lot.
Yeah, and it's not just jargon. It's this really powerful idea that challenges, failures, they're not roadblocks. They're actually opportunities, chances to learn, to grow, to get stronger.
So every setback has a lesson hidden inside it, if you look.
Pretty much, yeah. It's about shifting your focus away from just the outcome and looking more at the effort you put in and what you can learn from the whole experience, win or lose.
That makes sense. If you see it as temporary, as a learning moment, you're more likely to keep going.
Exactly. It fuels perseverance. You see the obstacle as just part of the journey, not a reason to quit. And sort of connected to that is trying to adopt a more optimistic outlook.
Ah, the old glass half full versus half empty.
Well, yeah, but it's maybe a bit more than just a saying. Optimists, generally speaking, tend to expect good things. They approach problems thinking, okay, I can probably figure this out. They make plans.
They see possibilities.
Yeah, the sources describe them as often being pretty content, able to kind of roll with changes and sometimes even thriving when things get tough because they frame problems as like challenges to overcome, not disasters.
Which is a big contrast to a more pessimistic view, right? Feeling unhappy, easily down, helpless, maybe blaming others.
Exactly. As one source put it, your thinking habits. They either build bridges towards where you want to go or they build barriers that keep you stuck.
And that barrier idea, that links right into overcoming a victim mentality, doesn't it?
It really does. If you're feeling helpless all the time or always pointing fingers, you're basically trapping yourself behind that barrier you've built in your own mind.
So how do you break that down?
Well, the sources really highlight taking positive action, even small steps, believing you can actually influence events, or at least your reaction to them, investing in yourself, and, crucially, taking responsibility for your choices. That's key to moving away from feeling like life is just happening to you.
Reclaiming that sense of agency we talked about earlier.
Precisely. You start to recognize and use the power you do have to shape your own path.
Okay, so mindset, perception, super important. But resilience isn't just in the head, is it? What about the practical physical stuff?
Oh, not at all. It's grounded in the physical, too. Resilience really, really starts with taking care of your actual self, your body.
The basic.
Yeah, you've heard it a million times, but it's fundamental. You can't pour from an empty cup. Prioritizing self-care isn't selfish. It's not a luxury. It's the essential foundation for being able to handle stress well.
So what does that foundation look like, practically speaking, according to the sources?
Well, there are some definite non-negotiables. Sleep is huge. Aiming for, 7-8 hours of good quality sleep. Critical for recovery. Then nourishing your body with healthy food that actually fuels you, gives you sustained energy. That's key.
Right.
And moving your body, finding physical activity you actually enjoy that feels good to you makes a massive difference to stress levels.
Okay, so those are the basics. What about specific techniques for when stress does flare up?
Yeah, things like deep breathing exercises, meditation, progressive muscle relaxation. Those are really good, proven tools for managing stress and anxiety in the moment. They help calm your nervous system down, give you that pause button.
Now, one thing the sources really seem to emphasize, maybe even more than I expected, was setting healthy boundaries. Called it crucial, but often underused.
No, this one is so important. Honestly, it can be a game changer for people. And setting boundaries, it starts with figuring out your own limits.
How do you do that?
Pay attention to how you feel. What situations or requests or even interactions leave you feeling uncomfortable, anxious, drained, resentful. The sources suggest noticing the physical signs too. That tension in your shoulders, maybe a headache coming on, feeling suddenly tired. Those are often clues that a boundary might be needed.
Okay, so you identify the feeling, the situation. Then what? Actually, setting the boundary can feel awkward or even confrontational.
It definitely can feel that way, which is why the advice is usually to start small. You don't have to tackle the biggest, most difficult relationship issue right off the bat.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, say work emails after hours are really stressing you out. Instead of marching into your boss's office tomorrow, maybe you just start by turning off the notifications on your phone after 7 p.m. It's a small step, but it reinforces a boundary for yourself first.
Right. Practice on the smaller stuff.
Exactly. And then when you do need to communicate a boundary, say something out loud.
Yeah.
Clarity is key. The sources kept saying, clarity is kindness. Just state your need or your limit simply, directly, calmly if possible. You don't need huge explanations or endless apologies.
Well, what if the other person reacts badly?
That's the tough part, but it's essential. You are not responsible for their reaction. Their feelings are theirs to manage. You can stay calm, maybe repeat your boundary if you need to, but their pushback doesn't mean your boundary isn't valid or necessary for you.
That takes practice, I bet.
It really does. And it's interesting how many types of boundaries there are. It's not just about work, is it?
No, not at all. The sources break them down. There are like physical boundaries.
Yeah.
Personal space.
Yeah.
Privacy.
Yeah.
Emotional boundaries, protecting your own energy, not absorbing everyone else's stuff.
Right.
Time boundaries, how you use your hours. Material boundaries, your things, your money.
Yeah.
Mental boundaries, respecting your own thoughts, values. And then a really big one today, digital boundaries.
Okay, tell me more about digital boundaries. That feels very relevant.
Yeah.
Hugely relevant. The sources really highlighted this for modern stress. It's about managing your online life,
Right.
controlling notifications, having tech-free times or zones, the constant onness, the expectation of instant response. It's a massive stressor. Setting limits around your phone, your email, social media, it's surprisingly powerful.
And the benefits of doing all this boundary work, they're pretty wide-ranging.
Oh, they're transformative, really.
Yeah.
Mentally, emotionally, it cuts down stress massively. It improves self-care because you're protecting your resources. It leads to healthier relationships because expectations are clearer.
Makes sense.
Physically, studies mentioned in the sources actually link boundaries to better sleep, lower cortisol, that's the stress hormone, a stronger immune system, even better heart health.
Wow.
Yeah. And in work settings, clear boundaries mean higher engagement, less burnout. And those digital boundaries specifically, directly linked to lower stress and better sleep. It's a practice that ripples out positively into your whole life.
Okay, so we've looked inward, mindset, self-care, boundaries. Let's turn outward now. How does connecting with others fit into building resilience?
It's absolutely vital. Nurturing positive relationships, connecting with supportive friends, family, partners, whoever your people are, that's a huge source of strength when things get tough.
Having that support system.
Exactly. And building a sense of belonging, maybe in a community group or a hobby group, that helps too. And importantly, the sources remind us that reaching out for professional help, like therapy or coaching, that's also a really key form of support and connection. Don't overlook that.
It struck me reading through some of this. The connection is seen as almost a basic human need, right up there after food and shelter.
It really is. It's fundamental to who we are. And there's a nice link back to what we just discussed. When you take care of yourself first, the self-care, the boundaries you actually have more energy and presence to connect genuinely with others.
So it's not selfish and enables better connection.
Exactly. They feed each other. And speaking of connection, compassion comes into play here too, doesn't it? Both for ourselves and others. Let's talk self-compassion first. That feels hard for a lot of people.
Oh, definitely. That inner critic can be so loud.
It really can. And part of that is just how our brains are wired, The negativity bias, we tend to notice and remember the bad stuff more than the good. Self-compassion is like the antidote to that.
So what does it look like? How do you do self-compassion?
It's basically about acknowledging when you're having a hard time, when you've messed up or you're struggling, but without beating yourself up immediately. It's reminding yourself, hey, suffering is part of being human. Everyone struggles. Everyone makes mistakes. It's universal. And then it's about intentionally being kind to yourself in that moment, treating yourself with the same warmth you'd offer a good friend.
Sounds simple, but yeah, silencing that inner critic is tough.
It is tough. But the good news from the sources is it's a learnable skill. You can get better at it. And the benefits are huge. Less psychological distress, better well-being overall. You become less afraid to take risks because failure doesn't feel so catastrophic. You see setbacks more as learning chances.
How do you practice it?
Simple things like using kind affirmations, I deserve to be treated kindly, or this is tough, but I'm doing my best. Celebrating small wins, especially when you're trying something new and hard, like setting a boundary, that helps build the muscle.
Okay. And what about compassion for others? How does being kind to someone else build my resilience?
Another powerful link. The sources show that doing things for others, acts of altruism, helping out, it significantly boosts your own sense of well-being. It shifts your focus outward, connects you, and can actually change your whole state of mind, even if you were feeling stressed or down before.
Interesting. Okay, so mindset, self-care, connection, compassion. What else is in this resilience toolkit?
Finding meaning and practicing gratitude are two other big ones. Developing a sense of meaning or purpose in life that acts like an anchor when things feel stormy.
How do you do that?
It involves thinking about your values, what really matters to you, setting goals that actually align with those values, and often finding ways to contribute or give back connects you to something bigger than just yourself. It gives you direction.
And gratitude fits in there somewhere.
Definitely. Making gratitude a regular practice is incredibly powerful. The sources really hammer this home. It's about intentionally noticing and appreciating the good things, big or small.
Like a gratitude journal.
Yeah, or just taking a moment each day to notice something positive. Savoring a good experience. Actively thanking people. It's that conscious shift away from focusing on what you don't have to really appreciating what you do have.
Changes your perspective.
Completely. It fosters contentment, even a feeling of abundance, no matter what's going on externally. And the research is solid. Gratitude literally rewires your brain to look for the good. It boosts resilience, well-being, mental health, sleep, even lowers blood pressure, and helps you handle stress better physically.
And you mentioned work benefits too.
Huge ones. Gratitude in the workplace dramatically impacts engagement and retention. People who feel appreciated are more committed, less likely to leave. Leaders who show gratitude build stronger, more resilient teams. Simple things matter. Being present, saying thank you, acknowledging small efforts, reframing challenges positively.
Wow, okay, so we have all these amazing concepts: mindset, self-care, connection, compassion, meaning, gratitude. How do we make this real? Like, what are some actual techniques we can start using maybe even today?
Breathing. It's probably the most immediate, accessible tool. Just intentional breathing, especially focusing on a longer exhale than inhale.
Like a longer exhale.
It directly stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system. That's your body's rest and digest system. It calms you down. Even making your exhale audible, like you're gently fogging up a mirror, sends a signal via the vagus nerve to shift out of stress mode. A few breaths can make a real difference.
Okay, breathing. What about mindfulness? We hear that word everywhere.
Mindfulness is basically being fully present, aware of what's happening right now inside you and around you, without getting totally carried away by it.
How does that help with stress?
It interrupts the automatic stress reaction. You start to notice your thoughts just as thoughts, not necessarily facts you have to react to instantly. It creates a pause.
Yeah.
So you access your wise mind, where intuition and reason meet.
It gets you out of just reacting constantly.
Exactly. Switches you from that frantic doing mode to a calmer being mode. It increases body awareness, emotional intelligence, self-compassion, all things that soothe the nervous system. Research even shows it can reduce activity in the amygdala, the brain's stress alarm center, over time. Plus, it helps with focus, getting into that flow state.
Does it have to be long meditation sessions?
Not necessarily. While formal meditation is great, you can integrate mindfulness into moments, a quick body scan, just noticing sensations, or a simple technique like STOP. Stop, take a breath, observe what's happening inside, proceed with intention. Little things can bring you back to the present and regulate your stress response.
What about like our relationship with tech and maybe nature?
Yeah, the sources talked about mindful consumption. We're so often multitasking, half paying attention to everything. That's exhausting and stressful. Right. So minimize it where you can. Set boundaries with your phone. It's designed to distract you. Put it away sometimes. And simple things like taking a walk, just looking at some trees or plants, engaging in play, doing something just for fun. No goal. Those are powerful stress reducers. Grounding.
And rest. We mentioned sleep, but rest in general.
Absolutely non-negotiable. Good sleep is vital. And don't underestimate taking proper vacations. Time off isn't a luxury. It's crucial for preventing burnout and chronic stress. It actually makes you more productive and resilient when you come back because you've truly recovered.
Okay, one last practice that kept popping up. Journaling.
Ah, yes. Journaling is fantastic for self-discovery, for processing things, reflecting on experiences, strengths, weaknesses, working through difficult emotions. It can even help with healing from trauma by letting you create a narrative.
How does writing help physically or mentally?
Physically, the act of writing can actually reduce muscle tension, lower blood pressure, slow your heart rate. Mentally, it's linked to less sadness, anxiety, depression, and more life satisfaction and optimism. It helps you gain perspective, process challenges, build resilience.
So looking at all of this, it's clear building resilience isn't just like finding one trick or flipping a switch overnight.
No, not at all. It's definitely a journey. Think marathon, not sprint.
Yeah.
There are going to be setbacks, days you feel overwhelmed again, times you forget your practices, and that's completely okay. That's part of it.
The key seems to be being patient with yourself, right? Acknowledging its work and celebrating the progress, even the small steps.
Absolutely. It's about actively choosing day by day, practice by practice, maybe one boundary at a time, to just nurture that inner capacity, to adapt, to bounce back, and hopefully to thrive.
We've really covered a lot today in this deep dive, from the science behind mental toughness and mindset shifts to the power of self-care, boundaries, connection, compassion, finding meaning, gratitude.
And those practical techniques, too, breathing, mindfulness, managing tech, rest, journaling.
It really is a comprehensive toolkit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Drawn from all these different angles.
And importantly, every single piece is something you can develop within yourself. It's not out of reach.
So remember, resilience isn't just something you have. It's something you actively build. One step, one practice at a time. It's about choosing to nurture that inner strength. That inner warrior, maybe.
That really brings us to a final thought, maybe a question for you listening right now.
Yeah, consider this. If resilience is like a muscle, something you can train with consistent practice, What's one small, actionable step, just one thing from everything we talked about today? What will you commit to starting with to make your inner warrior just that little bit stronger starting now?